Hey everybody, this is Langston John Blaze, and I'm doing this video in memory of my friend Brian McQueen, who passed away about a couple of weeks ago now. Um, Brian McQueen, wow. When I think about Brian McQueen, I immediately smile or want to start laughing because there are so many incredible things about Brian's personality that stand out, and when you think about Brian, you can't help but to smile. We went to middle school together, went to Smith Middle School. Shout out to all my Smith and middle school victims, I should call us. Ryan was one of our Smith and middle school victims, and he made Smith a lot easier to get through. We went to what I like to call a shotgun middle school. Smith was one big hallway, basically, with rooms and classrooms in between. And Brian was just one of those people that was popular because of his personality. He wasn't one of those people that tried to be funny. He just was, just because that was just him. He had a love for music. Always had the latest CD before anybody else, including myself. We had a lot of the same taste in music. If you also know Brian, you know that he loved food. Brian did not play about his food. Oftentimes we were in the cafeteria, we were all eating the nasty, washed up, whatever they were serving in that crazy cafeteria food. And I would look over at Brian, we were in a lot of the same classes. And I see Brian with this bag. And he opens it, and I'm like, Brian, what are you eating, man? And he opens the aluminum foil, and it's hot wings. And I'm like, dude, are you really about to eat that in front of us while we gotta eat all this nasty food? And to make matters even crazier, I watched him pull out something from a bag and it's hot sauce. And he's pouring it on the wings. That's the kind of person Brian was. He loved music, he loved food, and he loved to make you laugh. And just listening to people like another friend of ours, hear him just say how generous and how supportive he was with him, and so many others I'm pretty sure that went to high school with him as well. And he was just so friendly, so down to earth, very laid back too, which is so funny because to me Brian's personality was very laid back, but at the same time a lot of people knew him because of that chill mentality that he always had. He was very much so himself. He never tried to be anybody else. Even as you're growing as a kid in middle school, it's so tough to be accepted for who you are, and you're going through so many different phases as a kid because you don't know who or what you want to be. But to me, or how I seen it, Brian always stayed true to himself. He never tried to be someone that he wasn't. He was always someone that was going to keep it real with you, keep it 100. And like I said, he loved his friends, and he always supported his friends. And whether it was someone else picking on them or bullying them or just someone to make you laugh. Brian was that person. He was always the comic relief in school. If you needed a good laugh, he was good to be around. Not because he was going to try to make you laugh, because it just would happen. That's just the type of person that he was. And this summer, for some reason, I don't know why, and God works in mysterious ways, I continued to run into Brian. Not just at the movie theater, because he worked there, and I'm a big fan of movies. And when I think about the movie theater, he's really one of the first people that I think about. But I continued to run into him while I was shopping, while I was out in the city. And I remember one time in particular, sometime in May or June, or maybe just a little bit before, he was leaving school for that summer or what break, whatever he was on. We talked for about 2 hours about modeling, and I given him a photographer friend of mine's number just to do more work because Brian showed so much potential as a model, and he's proof that you can do something like that. Especially there's so many of us that are associated with Brian. I know that are interested in music and are interested in this entertainment game. And he's proof that you can get a good education and still want to establish yourself in something that you enjoy. And he was slowly but surely about to escalate into modeling, and he showed a passion for it and a drive. And if you even go on his Facebook page, he's got some amazing shots on there. And I was so, because I had actually gone on his Facebook page in a while, and when I heard about Brian's passing, I immediately went there, and I seen all the love that people were showing him. I mean, this guy, you can just, because at one point when my friend had told me, I was so shocked that I wanted to know exactly at what point did Brian stop writing on Facebook, because it shocked me so much that I didn't even believe it still. But there was so much love on that page that it was hard to even go back, because it was that many messages and that much love and outpour and respect for this person. People were writing paragraphs and sentences just telling you, all basically saying the same thing, like what I'm telling you, how charismatic, how supportive, how friendly, how laid back, how fun this guy was. And it's a shame and a loss not only to his family and his parents and everyone a part of his family, but to his friends who grew up with him and that we grew up with. And I think about when we were 13, 14 years old and would have known then that Brian would only live to be 22. I think that it gives you a completely different mentality into cherishing your life and not using this sentence, and this is something that I always say personally, when I grow up I want to, because Brian definitely showed that through his education and the modeling and everything else that he was a part of, that you don't have to wait, you can do it now. And there was just so much that I knew that he wanted to do. He had the best of friends, and he showed that he was a true friend to everyone that he came across. He was just one of those people, like I said, even throughout the struggle of getting through Smith in middle school, he was one of those people that made going to class a lot easier, because you knew that he, sometime within that class, he was going to say something to crack you up. And that's just how he was as a person, and that's something about him that I will always hold near and dear to me. Unfortunately, I didn't go to his funeral, and the reason that I didn't go was because I had just seen Brian 2 weeks ago with another friend of ours, and selfishly, I needed to hold on to that moment of seeing him dancing and happy and funny and just being Brian. I needed that to be the last time I seen him. And I just remember clicking on Google to find out where the funeral home was, and that was my moment where I just broke. I mean, I don't remember I hadn't cried that hard in a long time. And even now, sometimes when you think about it, it's like, wow, it really throws you for a loop. And I needed to hold on to that memory of seeing Brian so happy, and it made me happy to think that was the last time that I seen him, and I had a great moment there with him of joking and laughing and being silly, because it was late, and I said, Brian, you and Max, y'all need to take your butt home. And I remember saying that, and then I drove off, and they said bye, and that's just how it was. That's just how we were as friends, and it's really unfortunate to lose someone with so much style, with so much charisma, so funny, and passionate about what he wanted to do with his life. And I think it's a lesson learned to all of us that, of course, in his age bracket, that are saying, I'll just wait until this year or that year to do this. Do it now. Because Brian was definitely one of those people that didn't take the present for granted, and he was on his way. I mean, he'd already finished school, and I know there was a lot that he wanted to do with his life, and he showed so much potential to do whatever it was that he wanted to do. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys see this video. Rest in peace to Brian McQueen, because we all love and miss him. And God bless the McQueen family and everyone that was associated with him, whether you were a friend or a family member. Okay? This is Langston John Blaze signing off. We love you, Brian. Peace.